So the beautiful mugshot there. So what's that, Bjorn?
I saw the Kelly Clarkson one below that. That's why I was talking about.
So I came across this story. It was it looks like it was from July 8th. So yeah, I mean it's this month, but basically the long and short of it is there's this Des Moines couple that had rented a home, and one of the previous renters of it just keeps going back and was trying to like get in, not during the day, but always at night. So like you can say, it's a during the daylight hours they feel safe. However, in the early hours of the morning when it's still dark is when they get the unwanted visitor coming to their door. So he'd wiggle their door handle and look through their bathroom window. And the thing that made me most interested in this, and that was the creepiest thing, is this part here. About a month or two ago, we saw him in our backyard. I saw in the moonlight an axe going down and chopping wood. So he's just chopping wood in their backyard. And then he went out and he was just raking in their backyard one time. He tried to talk to him, but the man does not speak English fluently. So like this is where I would be pretty sure no matter what language that the person spoke, that they'd be able to fucking understand that I don't want them there if I lived at that place. But apparently he got arrested, and yeah, so that was the end of it. And I just was like thinking that was one of the most bizarre things where a guy is coming back to the place that he once lived, and he is just fucking doing yard work, and he's just kind of wiggling the door. They're out there interacting, but he just keeps coming back. Like,
it's like, why are these people in my house?
Yeah, like, does he not understand? Maybe it sounds like he was from out of the country, like, out of the country, like a foreigner or something, like refugee, or who knows.
Something's lost in translation where he doesn't understand that he doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah.
He accidentally time traveled to a time that it wasn't his house. And he's like, all my stuff is still in there. What were you saying, Bjorn?
That happened to Marty McFly whenever he went back to the alternate timeline, and he came through his bedroom window, and it turned out it was like that little girl sleeping in there, and the dad comes in his boxers with a baseball bat and starts smashing everything.
Holy shit. Like, so maybe I should start going around that area and looking for a fucking DeLorean or something. see what the hell. Yeah, that, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, quick little story. But
well, at first I thought you were going to say that he was like sleepwalking or drunk or something and coming home to the wrong place at night.
But that crossed my mind too.
I don't think there's pretty much anything that would make me move out of that place sooner. I'd just be like, okay, you can fucking have it. I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like going back and chopping wood, and that would freak me the fuck out to look outside in the middle of the night and just know it's that crazy guy who thinks that he still lives there in the middle of the night or for whatever reason, and looking into like the bathroom windows. And I'm glad they arrested him, and I guess the question I would have, like, have you ever had any kind of experience with like someone weird or just an intruder or someone trespassing that you've come across before where you're like, hey, and had an encounter like that? Dane's shaking his head.
Mm-hmm.
So you go.
Dude, it happened to Waldorf. I got woken up at like 2:00 in the morning. Somebody pounded my door. I went and I opened it, and it was one of the football players. And 6'4", maybe, probably not that tall. I'm exaggerating. He was fucking huge. And I only weighed 120 pounds at the time too, so everybody seemed huge to me. And he was really fat, and he didn't have a shirt on, and he like tried to walk in, and I like stopped him. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he started pushing me, and he was just wasted. He was so fucked up, and I was like, "Well, I guess I'm just letting him in my room. Like, what the fuck? Because what am I gonna do to this huge dude?" And he just crawled up on my roommate's bed and went to sleep. And I was like, well, what the hell, dude? So I went and got the whatever you call it, like the guy who kind of takes care of the floor or whatever.
Like the RA.
Yeah. And he went and he woke him up. He's like, bro, your room's the next floor up. So he thought he was on his floor. I wonder what he thought when he was pounding on his door and I opened it.
Well, apparently not much. He was just like, get out of my way. I'm going to bed. Man.
Yeah, I know. And he didn't like push me really violently or anything like that. You know, he just kind of like walked in like he owned it. And I was just super confused about it. And then he just like, he wasn't speaking correctly, you know, and he just curled up and fell asleep.
Did you talk to him later about it? Or
No,
like...
I don't even know who that guy was. I mean, that was the only interaction I ever had with him.
That's hilarious. You probably have told me that story before, but I didn't remember it. So, Bjorn, how about you?
I really can't say that I have. I don't think. But Mom has said stuff about that at the farm, where she saw somebody in the woods, like walking through the woods at night, and she said that somebody had come in the house, like through the garage or something like that, and the dogs were barking, and she went out and the door was open.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm not saying I don't believe my mom, but like she was way more chill about it than I was, because I was like, if I saw somebody walking around out in the woods, because she came home in the headlights, you know, she was shining into the woods, and there was somebody walking through the woods, I would be freaking so pissed, and there'd probably be gunshots. Maybe not trying to shoot anybody, but just letting them know that, hey, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, buy inside, get yourself a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
Fire them up in the air. Dude, I'm pretty sure somebody did that and they went to jail for it. And then I think he got off because he's like, that's what the vice president of the United States told me to do. I remember hearing that. I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but
I'm sure crazier has happened, so I believe it. As far as stuff that goes on in courtroom and the way that people can be defended sometimes. But no, I never had one, I guess, that I can think of personally, like where myself had to deal with it. At least nothing that sticks out. Maybe a get off your lawn moment or something with some dumbass kid here or there, you know, in town that I caught walking on my sidewalk. I know that's like right by my house where they shouldn't be. That's happened a couple of times, but I remember growing up in the farm a couple of times where I was with my dad and we saw a car up in the farm where they weren't supposed to be. And we went back there and Dad would just be like, oh, what are you doing here? You know, and he'd just tell him in not a nice way to get the hell out of there. And like a couple times, like people, like I remember when it happened, like people would be like, well, what? And Dad's like, no, I don't want to hear it. Like, get the hell out now. So
that's what people should do.
Yeah.
I can think of a time whenever I lived in the apartment in Mason with Hagen, and somebody banged on the door. I don't know, it was like 8 o'clock at night or something, but we were not expecting company. It was like, what the hell? Like Hagen, I think, went and got a gun. I think I had one too behind the door whenever I opened it, because I like peeped out the hole. I saw there was a couple guys out there. I was like, hello? And it was a couple Mormons. I was like, oh, well, thanks, but no thanks. I was just like, we're not expecting company. Like, I don't know. It was just a very odd thing. When I don't know, it probably shouldn't be that weird when somebody knocks on your door, but it's just like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, when you're not expecting somebody though, that can be kind of dicey. It's like, and then you look out and you're like, I don't recognize this person. Who is this person? And we've had a couple people come around town before where there was some messages that went out between neighbors, like, I don't know if like this person's legit, just kind of keep an eye out for this guy that's saying he's with DirecTV. Like, he has a clipboard, but it's not really adding up. Like, he's asking some weird questions. So it's that's one thing that's good about a small community, or at least a neighborhood that's tight, because you can have that too in a big city. But if you're kind of in contact with your neighbors and you can relay that kind of thing amongst yourselves and be vigilant in your own without, getting the police involved necessarily, that's, I think, always a good thing.
Yeah, it's also nice on like Facebook. Somebody might say, "Oh, in Des Moines area, watch out for this," and they'll show like a security camera photo of somebody doing whatever. It's like, okay, keep an eye out for that guy.
Yeah,
I had a truck.
Absolutely.
I forgot about this, but I had a truck pull up, and like a shitty looking truck, and it was in the middle of the winter, and so like an old guy and some lady got out, and the lady came up, and I grabbed my big dog in my left hand, and then I keep a handgun in my kitchen, so I just grabbed that, and it was like around the wall, and I opened the door, and they're like, "Hey, we're cold. Can we come inside?" Like, no. I tried to talk to him because I would have like given him a blanket or something for them to keep, but like we had one of my friends' kids here too, so I was home alone with 3 kids and never seen these people before. They weren't from around here, and I live in the middle of nowhere, so thankfully I was home and not my wife when this happened, but that was pretty fucking weird. And then the guy like was walking up, and she just turned around and it was like, he said we couldn't come inside, and then they just walked back to the truck and took off.
Well, the thing is, Dane, like, you live in the middle of nowhere, but not so far from town or anywhere where like there wasn't different options for them. Like, they didn't
Right.
need.
Yeah, they could have went to town.
Yeah, and like, you don't know if like, is it people that are going to do something now? Is it people that are scoping out for maybe doing something later?
Mm-hmm.
It's some totally innocent, legit. Maybe like there's, you never know. But like, that's always in the back of my mind. I'm definitely the more cautious one when it comes to that kind of stuff. In my household, I will just say that. Like,
Mm-hmm. I posted a picture of their truck on Facebook, and somebody was giving me a hard time. They're like, if you were a good Christian, you would have let them in your house and warm them up. It's like, I'm not even going to say I kind of understand your point, because you need to still make your own decisions and keep your kids safe.
yes.
Like, you don't just do anything at any moment of your life to help somebody else out when you're getting a bad read on it, for one, and like you were saying, like, my number one job is to protect my family.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to let these random people, when town is 5 miles in that direction, go pretend like you're shopping.
Yeah, go to the gas station, warm up, like, call the like the cops or like the sheriff or something, and just say, hey, we're in a bit of a predicament here, like, like, and they could direct you to a place that's warm. Go to a church.
I was just gonna say, go to a church.
Yeah,
because if somebody's there, they would help you out. I've even heard of churches giving people money. Not saying that these people were bad people, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I've heard of churches being like, we're getting a bad read on, they could be bad people, they're passing through town, like, give them enough money to get gas money in a hotel and get them on their way, because it helps them, and then it just makes sure that everybody else is safe as well.
Even some local law authorities like have a fund for that, for people just passing through that are having some issue. Like, they'll toss you a few bucks for like gas to get to where you need to go, or
Yeah,
put you up.
in that movie Rambo: First Blood.
Okay.
Remember,
no, I don't remember.
the sheriff like basically tells John Rambo to keep walking. He like picks him up and drives him out of town, like, oh, see ya. And then Rambo turns around, walks back into town, and that's where everything blows up because
Okay. I haven't seen that forever, so
It's like I'm just hungry. I just want something to eat.
Dane, I was going to say that there's a intersecting point of good Christian and naive victim. Like you can be a Christian, but you could be stupid and let your guard down and be in real trouble.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And people take advantage of people all the time. Like, you gotta make your own decisions. It doesn't mean you're a bad person for not letting somebody in your house. Especially because I tried to keep talking to them, trying to figure out their situation, and they immediately were like, no, and just turned around and walked away.
Yeah, that's kind of sketch. Yeah.
Because I would have helped them in a way that I could that didn't involve letting them in my house.
Hey, don't let me forget on Tuesday I can wear pants.